Good evening, everybody. My name is Arden Patoc. I'm a second-year finance major at SU, and I'm running for your activities chair for next academic year. I'm running because I want to support the club and the space it provides for people of color on campus to feel accepted and embraced. And I want the opportunity to bring club members together and form an inclusive and supporting community. And I've worked with the SU Events and Activities Council in the past, and I was the fundraising chair for this current year. So I have experience in event planning and marketing and event planning and promotion, and I want to bring that to focus next year. And I really do want to make the year more open and inclusive for people.
Sorry, I'm also gonna be serious and cutting off people. I'm sorry.
Okay, my name is Jaimie Vital and I'm running to be your activities chair. I believe that I have the strong skills that will help me perform well in the position that I'm running for. If chosen for the activities chair, I will be able to create fun games and icebreakers, as I am a current summer camp counselor for the YMCA and was previously a member of the student council at my high school as vice president during my senior year. So I'm aware of how meetings work and the amount of responsibility that goes into making club meetings and events a success. As a member of UFC, I've participated in many of the events. Since I'm a freshman this year, I felt very welcome from all the icebreakers, and I want to replicate this experience to the incoming freshmen next year.
Okay, as a Journalist Foster's PR and outreach officer, I was able to create individualized retreats and activities for different communities across the Northwest. As last year's UFC's NSR, I was able to work with officers and members to create events as well as CAP, and this year I was able to co-host for my professionals. I believe that being a UFC Northwest FOSTA officer as well as Gen member has prepared me for this role because I have different perspectives on how to go about it and to navigate it. And I feel like these experiences will help me, it will give me ideas about how to create more events for a better community. Thank you. I'm Myron, by the way.
So now we're going to move on to questions, starting with the previous position, Justin Grove.
Hello. My biggest difficulty throughout my year being activities chair was finding time to plan events since everything was so busy, especially during winter quarter with Barrio and spring quarter with all the cultural events taking up the majority of the weekends. So my question to you guys is, how do you plan on facing these difficulties with time management?
I guess in terms of time management in Barrio season, I guess as an activities chair, I'll put more focus on making the activities centered around Barrio, having activities like help making props, learning about the culture and meaning behind Barrio to help sort of coincide and work together towards the common goal. And in terms of time management, for sure, I would put Barrio as a priority, but whenever space there is available, I would put that as another chance to bring people together.
Well, for time management, I believe I manage my time well, as currently I am an intern at Swedish Hospital, but I also prioritize my grades as well, and I am also involved in multiple other activities, and I believe that by maintaining a 3.9 GPA and by having all these activities as well, I believe that I manage my time well.
So for me, I believe that time management should be something that you know in advance. So taking on this role, you should know that this will take time, and that when it comes to bar, you shouldn't be taking on a borough committee spot as well as being an activities chair. Well, you can if you want, if you have time. But if you know that you can with all the other priorities, then you shouldn't. And for me, I put my time to where I love doing work. So being a UFC officer was something that I really enjoyed my freshman year, and I really want to continue doing that work. But when it comes to Barrio season and being activities chair, one event that I had planned was doing a Filipino fashion week. So for example, during Barrio, if we have decorations or costumes that we want to make or do, we can have a Filipino fashion week in fall or something, so that while we're all making it, we can present it as like an event, but also it's being productive.
So the first question is, how will you, if you do, coordinate with other organizations that UFC's partner with in order to ensure that these events do not conflict with other events? Or let me know. or actually no, I'll just do it. Other than just social events, what other types of events do you plan to create that focus on different topics like political, academic, and so on? Sorry, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So one event that I had planned was doing Filipino Town Initiative. So recently I met with Filipino Town Coalition. They were talking about how in the CID there isn't enough Filipino representation. So I was thinking that as UFC and with CID being like 10 minutes away, what we can do is make a mural. We can redo the street names. We can make a statue or a plaque. And I work for the city's urban planning office, so I know how to get through that. I know how to finesse our way through the system. So hoping that we can do something like that where we're able to do placemaking, because if you guys don't know, Seattle recently crossed off Filipino Town from our records. So that's something that we want to reclaim as people. Another event I want to do is high school outreach. So for example, in fall, I wanted to bring in youth from the area so that they can experience what college means. And in spring, I wanted to bring back the admitted students because UFC has a low retention rate throughout the year. So I was hoping that if we bring in members early on in spring, that they'll know what UFC is about, they'll know about what the school's about, and that this will create a better community so that when they come to SU, they'll be ready and we'll have a tighter community.
An idea for me coming into the next, if I were to be given this position, will be bringing in more cultural clubs outside of the API groups. I really want to get in connection with MECHA, get in good connection with BSA, Black Student Association, because as people of color, as students of color, I want to bring unity more than just the API groups. So building up culture nights with other people, potlucks and other ideas will bring people together. And in addition, I also want to bring open spaces for discussion as people of color to discuss issues on campus and outside of campus. So going into next year, I really do want to bring unity as a big idea for activities.
For me, what I was planning on doing was by having a children's day and reaching out to Asian American children who are facing the stigma, and I wanted to have an event that will help us get to know them more, and it will help them, I guess, prepare for life ahead and to help them get out of their shell.
Okay, so another question from the general audience. How will you incorporate your own creativity to create a variety of events that engage our members? Okay, no, hold on to that question. Okay, so what are some issues you foresee with event planning for UFC, and how will you circumvent that? Y'all can also ask me to repeat the question. Y'all need to
Can you repeat it, please?
Sorry. So, how will you? Oh no. What are some issues you foresee with event planning for UFC, and how will you circumvent that?
So being an RA this past year, I learned that planning an event 1 week before you want it to happen is going to work out. And within that, you find that funding and miscommunications are your biggest obstacles. So if you want to be an event planner, if you want to make sure that your events are accurate and that they're going to be well, you want to make sure that you plan everything at least a month in advance. So to avoid anything happening wrong with event planning, is to make sure that you're going to make a budget correctly, to make sure that you're contacting the right people, you're keeping a list of who you need to talk to, and making sure that it's going to be communicated to your officers as well as your organization.
Yeah, and I agree with what Myron said. It is very difficult coming in with event planning because there are other events happening on campus that is not UFC. And especially planning a week before, it was going to be difficult for having people to come in. As an activities chair, I would foresee scheduling with other events on campus would be difficult. So coming into next year, I would plan a general calendar of events going into next year, keeping in mind Barra, keeping in mind of all the other cultural shows and having them fit and seeing and being flexible to see what changes along the way.
So what I would do is I would like get in touch with the other cultural groups as well, so I get to like have an idea about when all of their events are, because I know a lot of people here are also part of different cultural clubs, and I guess like I get a general sense of the major other events that are going on campus, and then I would try my best to plan the events so that they won't conflict with each other.